KILR Killer Game.
Hello gamers, simmers, and pilots. I am the Killer Gamer, and welcome to the World Tour featuring Sublogic Flight Simulator 2 for the Commodore Amiga computer. Well, we're going to have a little bit of an interesting flight plan on this one. It's a short flight, but the way we're going about it will make it just a tad bit longer. But let me go ahead and explain that. I think my husky is howling. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. She's a husky. We're right here at Lewis University, and we are going right back to Chicago O'Hare. This is going to be in preparation for our next pivotal flight, which will be going over Lake Michigan. But we're not flying directly to Chicago here. What we're going to do, it's got an ILS with scenery disc number 9 on runway 14. So we're going to make use of that. And our flight plan is to go straight to DuPage. So we'll tune into DuPage, go straight there. And then we will tune into Northbrook and start heading in that direction until we catch the ILS for Chicago O'Hare, and then we'll turn and land. So that is the master plan, and I was hoping to do that with the Commodore 64, but when we got to Chicago O'Hare, it didn't freeze, but it lagged really, really bad because the taxiways had more of the blue dots. They don't have them at all in the Amiga. They're just lined in blue. But on the Commodore 64, the taxiways were blue dots, you know, just like a taxiway would be. But they had more of them on Chicago O'Hare, which really lagged the Commodore 64 pretty badly. During the daytime, it's not that bad, but at night it was just horrible. So we wound up switching back to default scenery and landing on this runway right there. So didn't get to use the ILS because in the default scenery there is no ILS for Chicago O'Hare. So we're going to do on this one what we couldn't do on the Commodore 64. And now it's time to go ahead and get all of our radios set. So the first thing we're going to do is DuPage. We're going to set that up right here. 108.40. So 23 miles to DuPage. The second one is going to be what was that second one? Northbrook, that's right. It was 113. So not too worried about vectors just yet, except for maybe this one. Well, we don't want to go from, we want to go to. So I'll just click on this. Wait for it to say 2. Shadow, don't be a problem. He's been good this whole time. And now he's being bad. Okay. He's out of the room for now. He's so rambunctious sometimes. Okay, so we've got that set. We've got this set. That's our heading. And we're all set to go, so we'll just go to the end of the runway here, turn around, and take off. It's funny how the center line is almost as big as the runway itself. It makes it so much easier to line up, but holy crap. They could have made them just a little bit thinner. So these scenery discs will be similar to what came out for the PC and the Commodore 64. It's just, this is a port from that. It looked like a box. That looked like another box. The difference is that, so they're not like direct copies, because obviously none of them have these thick center lines. But as far as like the roads and the cities, it's going to be pretty close. So just imagine airports with spaghetti lines and maybe not as many colors as far as the roads are concerned, and you will pretty much get what it looks like. There we go. Up in the air we go. Let's turn to 327. And gear up. Looks like nav 2 activated there. Okay, that's KLOT International right there. Don't let the name fool you. It's just called International. Doesn't mean like it's a huge airport. It's used in name only. Okay, I don't want to get too high up here. I have to remember where I set, like when I do level flight, like what are the RPMs and like where was my trim, stuff like that. It'll make it a lot easier to... I used to look at that stuff. So Chicago's off in that direction. I wish the engine sound was smoother on Flight Simulator 4 when raising and lowering it. It doesn't have a gradual, nice, smooth change. Not like the Amiga does. But what it doesn't have there, it makes up for everything else it can do. So this road is probably going to DePage, would be my guess. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to set this to. I think I'm going to set that to 040. If I can get it to go down. Oops. That was happening because I was clicking in another window. I was looking up the ILS information. I wonder if comms actually work on this one. I couldn't get them to work on Commodore 64. I think that's how. Wait a minute. Sorry, we're going to do page. Schomburg, maybe? I'm not sure. Maybe that's Clow. No, that looks like that's got 2 runways there. I have no idea what airport that is. Aurora? Can't be. Maybe that is DuPage. That's got to be DuPage Airport then. Okay, this is beginning to move. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and set nav1 to 109.7. Yeah, so that's DuPage Airport right there. Once again, you know, it's kind of like the diagram is not the way it should be. My cat was just let back into the room. Schomburg, that looks like the one that's over there, right there. I'm going to go ahead and turn. is definitely bringing back some memories. It's kind of like we're working backwards. Like we had past Joliet, now we're going backwards to Joliet, and then DuPage, and then right around the Chicago O'Hare. Had me wondering there for a moment. It's like it went off to the other side. I'm like, huh? Not seeing Chicago yet. So I don't know if you noticed, but the graphic that I have down below is a new graphic for the Amiga Flight Simulator 2 cover. That is actually a scanned image of the actual box that I have. And I put it into Photoshop, did some touch-ups on it, brought out the saturation for the colors, brought up the brightness a little bit. So once we passed Schaumburg, we should be getting close to the localizer. Oh, it's 2:43 in the morning. Yep, I'm staying up pretty late working on videos. Shadow, will you stop misbehaving? Well, that's Pewaukee up there ahead. I noticed the frames have slowed down. Have you seen that? Must be something about Chicago hair, my goodness. It's not even loaded up yet. There's the ILS, you see it, the vertical slope is beginning to... The glide slope indicator is beginning to move down. Well, there's a gray something over there. Landing gear go down. Crap, we just passed it. Because my cat is distracting me. When's the airport going to show up? Like when we're 5 miles away? Will you just sit down? Stop being a problem. Is it me, or is that ILS looking a little weird? Like it's centered. The glide slope is centered. It hasn't budged at all. And neither has our DME. It still says 9.7. Everything is moving. Now it says 9.8. What the heck? Yeah, something seems awfully weird about this. I'm going to tune in the regular VOR 133.9 and see. Stupid thing. We're completely off. It says the airport is this direction. So I think the ILS is broke or something. That's what the gray thing was. Maybe. That might be the airport right there. That would make sense if that's Milwaukee. So that ILS thing is completely messed up. That's a bummer. Was that Schaumburg? This is just bizarre. I don't know, we were going this direction. Maybe we'll just land on this runway. right there. I was hoping to land on that one, but yeah, that's what I mean. This gets really messed up sometimes. Go ahead and turn. I don't think I ever landed on this runway before. The one that goes at it. No, yeah, I have. I came from the opposite direction, and I think I landed there. You can see Chicago over there. Does it seem like I'm really low? I think I can make out the runway. There's like, I think right there. Let's get our descent going again. Assuming the gauges aren't broke. Yeah, I think that ILS is broke. I mean, it's not budging or anything. Now it's moving. That's weird, though. That's not working the way it should. See, now it looks correct. Boy, that thing is weird. Landed here. Let's take a look at where we can park. Now the Commodore 64, it had... That's interesting how this is not filled in. But those two runways are. It had a tower over there by the parking. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to park right over here. That's what I did on the Commodore 64. I landed on a different runway. So yeah, let's park over here. Yeah, there it is. There's the tower. can go off the runway there and make our way around. So come off here and around. That works. I see 2 lines or something. Oh, that's the parking area that we're going to go to. Although we got 2 lines here. You see this? One here, one there. This is kind of messed up like the Commodore 64 one is. You think that they would have a cleaned up version of Chicago, since it's the default area, just redone, but apparently not. Need to turn here. Whee! There we go. We can see the control tower from here. It's blinking green light. Okay. All right, we're stopped. Thought I was going to be able to lean it. Apparently not. All right, we're here, Chicago O'Hare. We're here, Chicago O'Hare. Here. Well, if you enjoyed this flight, go and leave a thumbs up. I know this was kind of a weird one, but you know, hey, you may be flying in this area wondering what the heck is going on with the ILS. Well, you saw it was not acting right. And that's a shame too, because it was the only ILS here at Chicago O'Hare, and only on Scenery Disc 9, and it wasn't even working properly. So, come on, it's like the biggest airport, and they can't even... Oh, man, this is just bad. Bad quality, bad QA, whatever you want to call it. Come on, Sublogic. Out of all the airports, you couldn't get this one right? My goodness. Anyway, thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, or if you found it useful, helpful. And subscribe if you haven't already. Be a part of our killer community. Help it grow. Spread the word. And the notification bell, which is made just for you. So that way you can ring that and get notified when a new video is uploaded to the channel. Other than that, thank you very much for watching. We got a great video coming up next time on the next flight. So I'll see you then.